All right. Beautiful. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on this fine Monday morning. Hope you're doing fantastic wherever you're coming from and wherever you're listening from, especially if you're listening to this in post. And it's going to be let's say, short intro today because I want to make sure we get right into the thick of things here and let my good friend from Bankers Fidelity Life Insurance Company, Ryan McMillan, have the mic, have the platform and the podium and talk to you a good bit about what I think is one of the more interesting products in the menu that a lot of you maybe haven't been introduced to as thoroughly as we'd like. And so Ryan, for instance, may have a little bit to comment on multiple lines of product under the Bankers Fidelity flag that I don't often get to comment on. That Ryan obviously is going to know more about than I do. That being said, let me point out one thing real quick regarding polling. Every once in a while, you'll see that we may use a poll on these webinars, and the idea there is twofold. One, just to help us sort of break the ice, get to know you, and navigate these conversations. Alternatively, or in addition to the polls, the Q&A could be used. I believe the chat is disabled just for everybody. I don't think that works on this particular setup, but the Q&A does. So if you've got questions, feel free to drop those in there. But also the polling information helps us to kind of get an idea of who's in the audience. And furthermore, we do send this information to the outstanding marketing organizations that sent you here. So if you came from marketing organization A, and you say that at the end of this that, hey, in response to one of our polls, you indicate that you'd be interested in getting a contract squared away with Bankers Fidelity, then we'll send that information back to marketing organization A and make sure that they know that you'd like that contract. And so whoever sent you here today, we're going to share these poll responses with them so that they're better able to serve you and to make sure that you have what you need in order to do your job to the best of your ability, especially in this case when it comes to the products that the Bankers Fidelity team has to offer. So if you wouldn't mind to participate in those polls, they will certainly sort of, as Jerry Maguire would say, help me help you. So that being said, and without further ado, I'm John Colbaugh. My job is to look for opportunities out here in the senior insurance marketplace, bring them to your attention and for your consideration to have a look at either specific carriers like we're going to do today, or concepts, and let you consider whether those carriers or concepts have a place in your portfolio, in your approach to doing business out in the wider world of senior insurance marketing. So that being said, today we're going to have a spotlight, a showcase, if you will, on Bankers Fidelity and their products, and let my good friend Ryan McMillan carve that path for you, since he's going to be much better equipped to do so than I am. So without any further ado, Ryan, the mic's yours, and you can take it away. And if you need anything from me, just let me know, and I'll be here kind of minding the Q&A a little bit, and otherwise learning along with the audience.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Again, I'm Ryan McMillan, the VP of Sales for individual and senior products at Bankers Fidelity. And we'll just go ahead and get right into it here. So this is our agenda. These are the items I'm going to be covering today. And if you have any questions, as John mentioned, you can drop those in the Q&A section. We'll be happy to address those. If you're not familiar with who Bankers Fidelity is, our company started in 1955, so been around quite a while. We primarily started off as a life insurance company, and in the 90s started getting into the med sup world, things like that. And then just in the last several years, after I've come on board, we needed to diversify our book of business. And so now we are into a bunch of different products as well. So we're not just heavily med sup. We do have a new med sup charter we just launched, but we also do, our hospital indemnity, which we're going to be covering today. We have life insurance. We do have cancer, short-term care, things like that. So we are headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and we do have an A- rating with AM Best. So that was just reaffirmed a couple months ago. And then we're currently licensed in 46 states plus Washington, D.C. So So here's our product portfolio. I briefly just talked about it, but we do have Medicare supplement insurance. We do have short-term care, final expense product, which is a newer product. We actually just launched a new final expense product about, let's see, it's July already, which is crazy. About 2.5 months ago. And then we do have a lump sum cancer, heart, and stroke product, and then the hospital indemnity product is what we're going to be speaking about today. So, just to give you an idea of probably our biggest book of business within Bankers Fidelity, it is our MedSup. I'm going to briefly touch on it just because we launched a new charter with Bankers Fidelity here recently. Excuse me. So we do have 3 different charters under which we operate. So there's Bankers Fidelity Life Insurance Company, Bankers Fidelity Assurance Company, and then Atlantic Capital Life Assurance Company. So Atlantic Capital is our newest charter that we've launched. We currently are doing business in 12 states with that charter. I'll show you a map of what that looks like. But this is just some things that just to show you what our MedSup is about. So we do have a household discount of 7%, and it is a roommate rule in most states, where if it's somebody over the age of 50 lives with that person, they can get the 7%. We do have preferred standard rates, and then we do have one thing that's a little different with us compared to our competition is that we do have 5-digit zip code area rating. So most people are 3-digit. We actually go 5-digit. Reason for that, it allows us to be a little bit more strategic with our plan offerings so that we're able to, usually in urban areas, the metroplex areas, they're always going to be the highest area 3, area 4, depends on your state. With the 5-digit zip code rating, we're able to actually strategically able to go in there in some of those urban areas and actually offer a lower area factor, just based on the data and the stats. So allows us to be a little more competitive, like I said, is strategic with where we're competitive and not. So there is a one-time policy fee of $25, and we do offer plans AFG, High G, K, and N. So this is a map that just kind of shows you where we're at. So usually in these red states are going to be the states that's our newest charter. This isn't fully updated. Actually, Kansas is newly launched as well as of, I believe, last week. So more and more states, Iowa or Illinois is close. Ohio is close as well. But we're continuing to grow with that MedSup product. What you're seeing as well is usually we're in the top 3. And this is, we built this product for longevity. So this isn't something that we're trying to churn and burn and get out there. I mean, we are very competitive. We actually are in the process of getting ready to do, some of these states launched about a year ago. We just got our rate increases back for those. And a lot of those are either 2.9, 4.9, or 6.9, depending on the area, as far as rate increases. So we have been very solid. The book has been running very good. So just gives you an idea if you want to look us up. If you happen to have CSG Actuarial, and you don't happen to see Atlantic Capital Life Assurance Company, it's going to still say Bankers Fidelity, and it's going to say underwritten by Atlantic Capital Life. You might need to ask whoever you're getting your CSG from, and ask them to add that into your CSG offerings, because if you don't ask for it, it's not going to show up in a lot of cases. Some people offer you to be able to see every MedSup carrier out there, some kind of gatekeep who you can see and who you can't see. But if you want to be able to see it, you might just need to ask them to add that in, just FYI. Also, if you were licensed with us prior to March of 2024, you do need to make sure you sign the addendum. Our old contracting paperwork did not include any future subsidiaries. Our new contracting paperwork does. That's why we changed that after March. So if you get contracted after March, you're in good shape. But if it's prior to that, you just need to go into My Profile, Contract and Compensation, Request New Company. You click on Atlantic Capital Life, and then you hit Submit, and then you'll get your new number in a day or 2. So very, very easy to add in. But that's something if you're currently contracted with us and you don't happen to see the ACL product out there. So okay, to get to the main product we're going to be speaking about today. So this is our new our hospital indemnity product, Vantage Flex Plus. With this product, we do have issue ages of 18 to 85. So any of the folks on the phone that may do ACA products or things like that, it's nice because it does go down to age 18. Most companies start at age 45 and go to 85. We go all the way down to 18. So those that do a lot of the ACA, like I said, it gives you an option to help them out with some of those gaps within their coverage. So it is an issue age product. It is unisex, unit tobacco rates. You can do individual spouse, individual children and family. And then our guaranteed issue product, our plan is from 64 and a half, 65 and a half. I know several of the competition out there have increased theirs to higher ages. Right when we launched this product is kind of when people started increasing their ages. This could change in the future, but this is a newer product for us. So at the time being, that is where we're at. But like I said, it could change in the future. So again, there's no networks, no deductibles, so you don't have to worry about that. We do pay the insured directly. So they submit us their, UB40 bill. We turn around and we cut them a check for whatever services they had rendered. We do not pay the doctors directly or anything like that. So when I'm talking about this product, think of this product as 3 different buckets of benefits. Okay. You have your first bucket, which is your base benefit options. That's what you're looking at right here. So in most states, all of these benefits are available. They can vary a little bit by certain states. For instance, New Jersey has a little bit more restrictions on everything you can offer. So New Jersey doesn't have all of these options, but almost every other state does. But like I said, this is your base benefit options. So every single plan that you sell will include these base benefits, no matter what. Okay. So hospital admission, you pick between $100 and $5,000, and we'll pay out up to 5 times per year. Now with ours, we only have a 30-day separation window. What is the separation window? Separation window is from the time when you get admitted into the hospital, when you get out. Okay, say you're admitted in the hospital and you get out today. 31 days from now, if you go back into the hospital, we will pay again. Why is that important? Because our plan is the only plan that I've seen that has a 30-day separation window. Every other hospital indemnity plan out there has a 60-day separation window. So it's a big selling point with ours. Okay. Daily hospital confinement, you pick between $100 and $750. That's standard. I mean, that's pretty much what everybody else has. Now, our benefit period options, these are the days that it pays out for your daily hospital confinement. You can pick 3 through 10, 15, 21, 31. Why is this? This is a little bit different than some of the competition as well. This is a bucket of days for the year. Okay, so if you pick 5, you get 5 days for the year. It does not re-trigger after the 30-day separation. That makes sense. So it's better to pick a higher day amount. So 10, 15, 21, things like that. Now, don't let it scare you, because I will show you here a little bit later in the presentation when we get to the e-app, when I show you what it looks like. 5 days, the difference between 5 days and like 15 days or 21 days is only like $2 to $3. It's not $10 or $15 in premium. It's very nominal, and it gives you a full amount of days for the year. People tend to like this, that it's a full bucket of days. A reason being, if you get admitted to the hospital, okay, so other competition, they might have 5 days, right? They might have these same day options, but theirs re-triggers after a 60-day separation. Okay, so with other competitors, they might have 5 days. You get admitted in the hospital, and then you get out. It only pay out on 5. Oh, that's 5 days. And then if you're out of the hospital for 60 days, go back in, you get another 5 days, so on and so forth. Well, the nice thing with ours is that this is a full bucket. So say you have 21 days as an option. And if you go in the hospital for something and you're in there for 21 days, we're going to pay for all 21 days. Okay, not just 5 or whatever else. Say you only use 2 days. Fine, you use 2 days now, 3 days next week, another 10 days, 6 months from now. It doesn't matter. It's nice because it's just a full bucket of days. You can use them at any given time throughout the year. Okay, you're not confined to a specific time frame. Hope that makes sense. If you have guys, like I said, if you guys have questions, use that Q&A section up there at the top. Observation room treatment. This is going to mirror whatever you pick for daily hospital confinement. So if you pick $300 right here for hospital confinement, your observation is going to pay $300. Okay, observation just means you haven't been actually considered hospital or inpatient hospitalized. They haven't admitted you into the hospital. Emergency room, we pay $200 4 times per year. Urgent care, $50 4 times per year. And then our ambulance is actually air, ground, and water, and you can pick between $100 and $400, and that'll pay out 4 times per year. It's nice because we pick water. Depending on the state you live in, when I've done these presentations, people in Florida and people in Michigan really like the water ambulance option. So just FYI. Now, remember I said think of this as three different buckets of benefits, right? So the first bucket, that's those base benefits. The second bucket of benefits is optional benefits. So I'm not going to cover every single one of these, but I'm going to touch on several of them. So skilled nursing facility tends to be very popular. Outpatient surgery is obviously very, very popular. People really like that one. But the diagnostic, I really want to touch on the diagnostic. The diagnostic is nice because compared to the competition out there, I haven't seen any other hospital indemnity plan that covers diagnostic plans. And I know a lot of you, if you're selling Medicare Advantage plans out there, things like that, there is usually a copay or co-insurance on diagnostic exams. So this is a nice added benefit. So minor diagnostics is going to be x-rays, things like that. Your major diagnostic, those are going to be CT scans, are going to be MRIs, those types of exams. And then invasive diagnostic, I always refer to it as it's invading your privacy because they're sticking things where you don't want them to go. Okay. But we do have diagnostic coverage, which I think is a big win for your clients. So the items on the right, those are a little non-traditional items, but they can make sense for certain people. The non-local transportation and the family member lodging, if you add those on, they're very, very low cost to add on. But if you're dealing with folks that happen to live in a more rural area and they're pretty far away from a metropolitan area and they need to receive care, then this can help them out. So if they have to travel more than 100 miles away from their home to receive care, then we'll pay up to 700 miles round trip, 50 cents a mile, to help them out for their gas or whatever else. It just helps with some of their costs. Like I said, these are very, very low cost add-on, pennies on the dollar. Family member lodging, again, if you're more than 100 miles away from your home and you have to stay in a hotel or whatever else because you're getting tests done and you had to drive a long way instead of driving back and forth, we'll give you $100 towards a hotel room night, 30 nights per year. So kind of cool. Like I said, it has to match the need, but if people do live a little further out, it can be a good option. So, and then your health screening here, you can pick 50, 75, or $100, and we'll pay out one time per year or 4 times per family. But there's a whole list of items you can have done for your health screening. So these are like preventative tests, things like that. So if you go get your annual physical exam, a stress test, a colonoscopy, mammogram, pap smear, prostate exam, bone density test, immunizations. So say you go and you're going to go to Walgreens and go get a free flu shot. Okay. You can do that. Go to Walgreens, go get a free flu shot. Just get that sheet of paper that shows what you had done. You can submit that to us and say you had $100 benefit here. You submit that to us, we'll pay you $100. Doesn't matter if it costs you anything or not. You still got your immunization, so we're going to pay out for that. Okay. So it is a nice option to add on because we do want people to get those preventative tests because obviously it helps identify things early on. And this is a nice little option to add on there. So, and then here's your third bucket. Your third bucket's enhanced benefits. So enhanced benefits are, you can add on maternity. That's for ages 18 to 45. If they're over the age of 45, if they're 46 or older, you cannot add on maternity. And then also we have substance abuse and mental and nervous coverage if you decide to choose that. If you happen to choose one of these two, okay, also on maternity, there is a 10-month waiting period. So remember, our plan goes from ages 18 to 85. So if you're dealing with folks in those prime, birthing years, it's a good option. They just can't be pregnant when they take out the plan. And then, now if someone happens to have a emergency C-section or complications, things like that, it's going to cover just as same thing as a sickness or as a sickness or illness, or an accident. So you wouldn't need maternity for that. But if it is just normal maternity, it can get covered. Now, if you do select one of these two options, it's going to turn around and it's going to mirror and pay out whatever you selected for hospital admission and daily hospital confinement. Okay. So say you picked $1,000 hospital admission and you had $300 a day for 5 days or whatever it was for daily hospital confinement. It's going to pay out however long you're in there for these situations. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Now, here is our product availability map. So you can see in the green states, this is where it's active and released. It's submitted in Oregon and Maryland. It's not approved there yet. Pennsylvania has our older hospital indemnity product. The new one is hopefully going to get approved there soon. They've had it for over a year. So I've been going back and forth with them, but hopefully that's coming soon to that state. Now, it is a simplified issue application with 7 health questions. There is a height, weight, bill chart. We do a prescription drug check and a medical claims data check on the back end. Now, something different with ours compared to the competition. So most of the plans out there for hospital indemnity are conditional approval. Okay, which means that you submit the application. Sure, it's approved, but if you have a claim in the first 2 years, they're going to turn around, they're going to ask you for their medical records, and they could rescind your policy and refund you your premium or whatever else, right? With ours, if you pass underwriting, you actually have a plan and we're not going to rescind your policy. So you pass the underwriting, you get approved, you have a plan. We're not going to come back and ask you for medical records or anything like that. So it is a nice selling point with ours compared to some of the competition. So opportunity to sell. Now, again, can be sold same time as an MAPD. Just make sure you get that scope done. It is considered a health product, which is nice. We do have some of the highest commissions in the marketplace, which is awesome. And like I said, the underwriting is not intensive. It really helps covering those holes in the MAPDs, as you guys know. There's a lot of copays and deductibles. This year is going to be a big shakeup in the MA world. No one really knows for sure what those benefits look like quite yet. But a lot of people think several benefits are going to get scaled back, things like that. So these are going to be more prevalent than ever to be offering to your clients to help cover those gaps and those holes. So it's really something I think you need to put in your tool bag when you're talking to your clients. So now again, you need to ask the question. I've been in the business for 24 years, right? So it's a matter of asking the question. What does McDonald's do when you go and you buy a cheeseburger, right? Oh, do you want fries with that? They just ask, hey, you have an MAPD? There's some holes in here and things like that. Would you like to see a plan that can help cover those holes for some low cost? Sure, let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's just an easy transition into it and just to talk about it. Okay, but I will say to you, keep it simple. Okay, don't overcomplicate it. Basically, what I tell my agents is to go in, have 3 or 4 pre-built plans, okay, that match the most common MAPD plans that you sell in your area, or ACA plans. Okay, you guys know what plans you're selling. You know the most common ones you're selling, maybe two plans, maybe 3 different plans, MA plans that you have in your tool bag that you're talking about. You know what those look like, and you know what their benefits are. So build a couple of hospital indemnity plans that match those the best. And say, hey, Mary, do you like bronze, silver, gold, or platinum plan? Which one do you like for hospital indemnity to help cover those holes, right? But keep it simple. If you go in and offer them, hey, do you want this optional rider or this one and this one and this one and this one? You're going to scare them because they don't speak our insurance language, and it's going to confuse them, and they might just be like, never mind, it's confusing. I don't know what it is. I don't want it, right? And they're going to walk away. So keep it simple and just be like, hey, Mary, here's this pre-built plan for you that I think matches up with this MA plan really, really well. Here's the price point. Do you think that's a good option? Yes. Okay. So don't overcomplicate it. Again, underwriting's really easy, and you make some good money selling these plans. So let's talk about our e-app. Let me go here. So our portal is agent.bflic.com. You log in. Up here at the top, you're going to see your e-app. You can go to new application. I'm just going to do Texas. Pick your state. It's just a 65-year-old. So when you go in here, you're going to put in your demographic information, and it's going to pull up the plans that are available in your area. Okay, so here's your hospital indemnity plan. Now, if you're in here and you're like, oh, I want to see the sales brochure, you can click on the sales brochure. It's just going to pop up a new window. You can download this. You can print it, whatever else. It just kind of outlines everything for you. It shows our different, benefits and things like that, our different optional benefits, whatever. So it's just an easy way to access sales brochure. You can also go here to the field underwriting or the underwriting guidelines, which I always suggest you do, because this is going to, again, pop up another window. It's going to show your base benefits and how they're broken down, the optional benefits and how they're broken down. And it's going to have like your disqualified medications. Don't just go write these and throw them against the wall, right? And it's a waste of time for you and for your client if they're on these and they can get declined, right? So just always look at this and then always look at the height weight chart, things like that. So it's just an easy way to access those underwriting guidelines for you. Okay. So when you're in here, this is where you pick individual, spouse, children, family, whatever else. Maternity is going to automatically be excluded because we are 65, right? So anybody 46 and older is going to automatically be excluded. Here's where you need to add mental or nervous. I'm just going to hit exclude. So we're going to change some of these benefits. Let's say $1,000 hospital admission. Let's do 350 here. Ambulance there. And then I'm going to leave these other things off. So I'm just going to hit requote. So we get a price point. $39.88. Okay. Now, remember, our benefit period days are a bucket of days for the year. They don't retrigger. They retrigger every policy year. Okay. It's not calendar year. It's policy year. So $39.88. I'm going to bump this up to say, I'm just going to show you 21 days. Okay. So you have 21 days of hospitalization for the year. $39.88. We're going to requote it. So whatever, what, $3.50. Okay. So that's not bad to go from 5 days to 21 days. So it's not like a $10 change or anything like that. Now let's go in and add, so let's say major diagnostic. Let's do outpatient surgery. Let's do minor. I don't know. And then hit requote. $58.60. Now it's a pretty loaded plan. Here's everything you have on it. The other nice thing that we do is that we show you the prices for each one of the riders. That way, if they're like, oh, 58 bucks is a little too high, I need to be more around that $50 mark. You know what areas you can tweak or change or whatever else. Okay. So you just need to do so. Okay. But you can just see those prices. Now, if you like what you see in the price point, you can hit add to cart. And it puts it over here on the side. Now, once you get there, you go down and hit save and next. And then this is when you can jump around. Here's all the things. It's going to show you a check mark if you're done with this specific section. But say you want to go to payment and billing. Now, we do bank draft. We can also do credit card. Credit card does have a 3% surcharge on it. Okay. Also, you can do your payments based upon approval, based on effective date, or other, usually the 1st through the 28th of the month. Okay. Now, we will not pay commissions until we at least receive the first premium payment. Okay. So say you want to do bank draft for, it's the 22nd already of July. Say you want this plan to go in effect on August 1st, but your client's like, oh, well, I want it on August 1st, but I really can't pay until August 10th because that's when I get paid, right? We can do that. Your plan will go into effect or whatever else. Now, when August 10th comes around, we draft their payment, then their policy is current. It's fine. But obviously if there's insufficient funds or whatever else, then they're going to be in a lapse mode. So you're going to want to make sure you to watch those things. Also, we can do draft schedule. Compliance doesn't like us to call it Social Security billing, but it bills at the same time their Social Security check's going to hit their bank account. So you can actually hit, the 1st and 3rd of the month, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Wednesday of the month. It just allows you to schedule that on a bank draft. So if it happens on a holiday, it happens the day before. If it happens on a weekend, it happens the day before, just like their Social Security check does. A lot of people like this because it helps with, it helps with persistency, helps that the money is just going to always be coming out of their account, and it just keeps them on the books. Okay. So those are some options for you. Let's go back to this. Again, there's only policy fees on MedSup and short-term care. There's no policy fee on the hospital indemnity. We do take MasterCard, Discover, American Express, and Visa. Okay. So incentives, people like incentives. So this is our sales convention. It is actually at the Four Seasons. Qualification period is September 1st to September 30th of 2024. So that's coming up soon. But it is 7 days at the Four Seasons of Buenos Aires with a +1, which is nice. But here's a qualification. So if you're currently contracted with us and have been, you have to have 150,000 credits to qualify. Okay. If you're getting contracted after March 1st, obviously, which is right now, it's only 75,000 credits to qualify. But we just changed this a little bit ago, like last week, I believe, a week and a half ago, maybe. We changed the credit amount. So if you do a hospital indemnity, cancer, short-term care, you get 4-to-1 credit towards those credit amounts. Okay. If you do life insurance, the final expense product, it's 2.5 times. Or if you do any of our MedSup, open enrollment or underwritten, you're going to get 2-to-1 credit. Okay. So as you can see, you can get there fairly quickly with a 4-to-1 credit on a hospital indemnity. Say it's $600 a year. You multiply that by 4, right? What's that? 2,400 credits towards a 75,000. So you can get there fairly quickly. Another nice thing is that we do not 1099 any of our agents for our conventions. You will have to listen to me speak for about 20 minutes during a lunch one day, but it's a lot better than getting a big O 1099 at the end of the year for that. So just FYI. We also have a app to reward program. Our app to reward program is if you write at least 5, any mix of hospital indemnity, short-term care, cancer, or life, it's our ancillary app to reward bonus. If you write 5 of any mix of these, say you write 3 hospital indemnities and 2 cancers or whatever else, you get $50 per app, retroing to the first one. So it's $300 minimum annual premium or $25 a month. Okay, it needs to be the minimum. So once you write 5, you'll get a $250 bonus, and then each app after that is $50. So it's just a nice little bonus program if it's something that you guys want to take advantage of. And then here's important phone numbers that you guys can call and actually speak to somebody in person. And then there is my face. That's my cell phone number and my email. So if you have questions or thoughts or concerns or anything, feel free to call me or email me. And then Brittany is also, her picture is on here. She is my sales coordinator. So she works in the home office. And if I'm not available, she can always help with questions or concerns or anything of that nature. So feel free to reach out to her as well. And that is what I have today, everybody. I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
John, I'll hand it back to you, sir.
that's great, man. Thank you so much. It's so nice to have, guys, I get to host trainings on carriers and other subjects pretty often, and I feel pretty well informed most of the time. But there is nothing quite like having it come straight from the source. And, Ryan, thank you so much for that, because just going into so much stuff that there's a couple of things there, especially on the med sup side of things, which I dabble a good bit in the med sup world. And so some of that stuff really translates to me in a way that is really useful. And there's some things that I did not know about the product that will be good to have kind of at my side going forward. Now, as I mentioned earlier to everybody listening, we launched a poll, and I think I've got all the participation I need there so far. So that's great. So it looks like the question was, are you interested in getting contracted today? It looks like we've got, Ryan, some folks in the audience who are already on contract, and then we've got a request for a contract as well. So that's really good to see. I want to encourage you all that, contracting is one, you're doing a really good thing. I really believe at the right time of year, in this particular year, getting contracted with all the products that you think you might want now. I'm thrilled to hear that for everybody here, it looks like we're either contracted or asking for contracts. That's really great. And what I think is interesting about this, and I want everybody to kind of to hear this in closing, is that this is a really different sort of year. We have a training called Capitalize on Market Disruptions that outlines this in detail, but looking at things that are really impacting the senior insurance market space, among other things, things like the one-to-one rule, for instance. That's not just affecting our industry. That's a multi-industry effect. And nevertheless, there are some of these things that have profound effects. And then we look at some of the things like the Inflation Reduction Act and a few other things that are having a direct effect on our industry. And one of the impacts that they're having is that they sort of dictate that we need to be prepared early as much as we can, because there are several things in our space that we're not going to be able to rely on our ability to prepare in normal course, meaning maybe on some things we'd usually wait till right before AEP to handle them, whereas we're not going to really get that opportunity. Or maybe there are things we'd be handling now that we're not going to be able to handle until right at AEP. And so we want to handle everything we can right now. One of the things I highly recommend is getting contracts with all of the carriers that you even think you might be interested in all the products you think you might be interested in. And then also handling your med sup business, since that's something that in many cases can be handled year round. And in this case, the Bankers Fidelity med sup obviously appeals to that as well. And so since that's something that you can do where we may have to wait on some things to come from MA and other categories, I want to encourage you to, one, get this contract. When you are contacted by your marketing organization to inquire about the contract requests, let them know if you're wanting all of Bankers products, if you're wanting their med sup, their hospital indemnity, and get your hands on those. And then my next challenge to everybody would be to write that first app in short order. Right, to find that first client, to bring that up in conversation, and to write that first app in short order. One of the best things you can do when you contract with a new product is to get off the ground pretty soon. Go ahead and bite that bullet, get familiar with the product, find a client who is best served by that product, and get it in their hands. This the best way to learn a new product is to actually educate somebody on it and sell it. And so that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody in attendance, and a big thank you to Ryan. Hopefully we'll have another such session not too long from now. And one, just thanks for your time, Ryan. And that said, everybody, we look forward to seeing you on the next session, and hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you very soon. Ryan, have a fantastic day. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you. Appreciate you, everybody.
Take it easy.